You know, life is not supposed to be easy, especially when you're from New York. In 2021, on a muggy Georgia summer night, we were reminded just how difficult things could be. With just under 5 minutes remaining in a hard-fought battle, Rugby ATL scored a game-winning try, pulling ahead by 1 point, thus ending our season. Trust me, we did not want to have that feeling again.
It was heartbreaking. Any season where you don't win it's hard to put in all that work and come up short, but especially when it's so last minute like that, it sucks.
2022 began with a bit of fire in the foundry, if you will, as we worked harder than ever before to make sure we weren't going to fall at that final hurdle once again.
There was definitely a lot of fire, especially the guys that had been around since the beginning, to right that wrong and make it past that mark.
Well, we had a massive turnover in players, so there's a lot of getting to know each other.
Trying to learn each other, figure each other out, get to know one another. That's mostly what preseason's about. Obviously you want to put the foundations in physically so that you can perform throughout the season, but it's a good opportunity just to meet new people and make lifelong friends.
It was really tough, the weather. But the AC is part of New York, It builds our character, and so, yeah, but it was really, really tough.
But a lot of the times, just had to suck it up and be real cold and get the most we could out of those sessions. But, from day one, we've said part of being New York, part of being an iron worker is just living with it and making the best of the situation.
And to give us that last vital piece of inspiration, it was our privilege to visit the people that built our great city, the New York City Ironworkers.
Going to the Ironworkers training facility was a super kind of eye-opening and interesting experience. Some guys have exposure to the trades, but very few people kind of know what the day-to-day of an ironworker is like. And it's a hard life, but they're a very proud crew. They're very proud of the buildings that they've built, what they've done, and how they've changed the New York skyline.
Myself, I've never been to New York before. Back home in New Zealand, you kind of see pictures of it and you don't really understand how amazing everything is until you actually see it. So to be able to go into the city, see it, and then go listen to the presentation was really special.
It takes a little something different to work in New York City and to do structural ironwork, and rugby kind of seems the same way to me.
Big time. We drew a lot of similarities to the way that the ironworkers ply their trade, and a lot of the ethos behind an ironworker is very similar to a rugby player. So we use that as our kind of framework for building our season and putting it together, and the teamwork and camaraderie that they show to go up and build these skyscrapers isn't too different to what we do when we're putting together a game plan and a team to take on a season.
It's who we want to be as an organization. The Ironworkers, they rely on one another and lean on each other pretty hard, and that's kind of the culture that we want to create here. Is there's no one man, it's everyone doing a job to complete the building.
That's it, right there. It's that, if somebody has that, we'll teach them everything else.
It's amazing, you always want to leave your mark wherever you can. So that's what we mean to do here as ironworkers, to leave our trade in the rugby world here in New York City. It's truly inspiring, the work that you do. We're going about this path, this journey of ours to, we're not putting up the World Trade Center, but we truly want to change the skyline here in New York, and be that if we're half the men that you guys are, hard work and the hustle, if we have half of that, I fully believe we're going to bring this shield home. So, through what you do and what you've done here and giving us this chat, it's truly inspiring, man, and thanks for having us.
When we looked at the draw to start the season, having our first 3 games on the road looked like a tough task. But things were clicking, and we just kept winning.
We have no microphone, so we're going to do the fun facts very loudly. So for boys that are new, welcome to Houston. The former home of 3 players on this team, with Sam Windsor, Charlie, and Pago.
I think Houston was a really interesting game.
I was in Houston 5 years, and I think that was the coldest and windiest I'd ever seen Aviva Stadium. So conditions weren't great.
Yeah, I think the team was getting to know each other. Everyone was like, the first games of the season, you are so excited.
Had the wind against us that whole second half, basically running out of everywhere, not kicking the ball.
Fortunately, we hung in. Ed Fidel had saved us twice, scored a couple of great tries from distance, and we managed to sneak away with a very narrow victory.
On the perimeter, a foot race. New York looking for the first try of 2022. The wait is over. New York is on the board.
I remember standing on the wing, man. I didn't think I'd do much in that game other than those 2 tries I scored. But yeah, credit to the boys for doing the hard work and for me to score them tries,
Teams are absolutely gassed. It's been a battle with the wind in your face. Massive tackles. The breakdowns have been contested every single time the ball carrier's been in contact.
Spacing out on the wing. Labuschagne. Off to the races, Fidel. Not once, but twice. And what a brace for Ed Fidel. Dots it down and back on top.
And who's your favorite here in New York?
New York begins 2022 in the win column. A comeback victory just about at the death of this one. Ed Fidel responsible for the first 2 tries of the new campaign.
Colin, this one is a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Final, which was a battle and a nail-biter at the same time.
Moving to Atlanta, again, we came out the blocks really fast. It was awesome to see.
And we'll have another kick. This one's not as deep. And there's Fido on the outside. Wow. Nice move inside, and he is in for the first try of the day, right under the posts. There's like another pickoff. Here comes New York for another try. It's going to be Coe, the 7-star from Canada, under the post for another automatic 7. Is that familiar scene of Dylan Fawcett? The rolling ball in for the try, and New York capitalizes on the penalty.
And then Atlanta came back in the game, but I think what really showed was the fight from the boys. We finished the game well and ended up going 2-0.
Felt at the end of that first half, but at the end of this game, we're going to find ourselves in some pretty dark places. We get out of those with simple things done right, not with heroics, right? We know our roles, we know it, we execute them with violence.
And New York takes the line out. Height, forward tie. He's got Troy Lockyer in some open space. He's got a man, Fido cruising down on the outside. Back inside, great pass to Jason Emery, and it will be under the posts for an automatic 7. Oh, and there's a big break. Here comes O'Connor. O'Connor's got Troy Lockyer. Troy Lockyer in the corner for the try. And that is it. An anticlimactic end to a very dramatic match, Colin.
Fucking unbelievable. Pretty to watch. Can't wait to take it back to JFK versus Shell. I don't care what it's about. On. We are on. Right, let's go. I'm coming.
Once we started getting the ball rolling, I felt like there was kind of a quiet confidence that we were one of the best teams in the league. All we had to do was perform, and I felt like throughout the year we never put a full performance together. Houston wasn't a full performance. Atlanta wasn't a full performance. Dallas was better, but still not up to par as to what we expect ourselves to do.
And Dallas on my birthday was just a great way to finish off that little road trip.
About being a Lion this week, right? Lion doesn't care who is hunting. Still a bad Lion. Great teams don't care who they're playing, where we're playing, what the weather's like. We got and execute, right? We enjoy that hunt. We enjoy that. Kill will take care of itself. We execute like a championship team. Everything else will be great. It'll be gravy on top, fellas. Come on, let's go take care of it. Let's enjoy the day, boys. Let's enjoy it. Let's go, bring it in. New York on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Tuiloma gets a 5-pointer.
They're good at making adjustments here. Haini going for the corner, he's got it. New York with a second try. Now it's to stay back on defense. A nice little pump fake by Buckley, gets it into the hands of Tucker, who puts it down. And Ed Ellis with a little duke. He's got Sam Windsor for a pick 7, as they say. Automatic try for New York. It's Heighton with some space, and he dives into the try zone. Jack Heighton.
To do what we needed to do. That was to go out and get the 3 wins on the road. No matter how we had to do it, we had to get it done. And just knowing that it would set us up coming back home.
And yeah, we were enjoying. I think it was really good. And I don't know why. When we were in the road, we were pretty good.
It's you can't really start your season a better way, 3-0 on the road. So it was an awesome start. We're all very proud of how we started that season.
Yes, it was a dream start, but we would eventually get a rude wake-up call.
Okay, well, we know the win down in that bottom left corner. Right, we've got that 3.5 that's been working for us all year. No one can defend it. Even if they think they can't defend it. We hold our feet, we get to the edge, right, then we look to play. Nothing changes from the way we've been playing the last couple of weeks. We just tighten a few screws and pick up our bit of accuracy. We're going to have some fun. The crowd's here to see us play the way we've been playing the last 3 games. It's not going to stop just because we come home. Sun's out, we can have some fun. I'm excited. Right.
Starting the home opener is always exciting. First time to kind of set our marker down and start building a new legacy in a new place. So the energy is always high. There's no getting the guys up for a home opener. That takes care of itself.
Season starts now. Road win's great. We got a home now, which means we got a place to defend. We got a fortress we got to deal with now. They've come down here looking for a scrap. Let's go out and meet them.
The first game was just unreal. You know, the buzz, the energy, the amount of people, the crowd. We were all very excited about it, and we wanted to put on a show.
And the crowd was just crazy. It was an epic atmosphere, and it was a bit of a shame we couldn't get the result, but it was really cool to finally come back home and play a game.
It's going to be a tough one today for both sides, but New England is up against a tough New York midfield defense where they put kicks in behind or send hard runners up the middle. They need to find a way to penetrate that area.
Cycle, but stolen, almost stolen by New England, and here comes New York again. Here's Tucker. Tucker, the big man, gets it to Fido. He knows the try zone. He goes to the ground, gets back up on his feet. Here's Buckley over him, looking for the ball. New York now deep in New England territory. Here's a little kick from Windsor. He's got Coe, and it's a spectacular try for New York.
Sam Windsor, Andrew Coe, take a bow. That was fantastic.
And there it is. Big try from the Free Jacks. Big response. That's Slade McDowell, the number 7.
That was a fantastic response from the Free Jacks.
New England, oh, did they get it? And they did. New England, the Free Jacks take the lead in this seesaw battle with the try. Physical in contact, and there's New York down the far side. It's going to be Andrew Coe, the 7th star from Canada. You're not going to catch him. And New York, just like that, takes the lead. Andrew Coe with a great try. Oh, and it's picked off, and it's going to be Walker going the other way. It's going to be a pick 7, as they say. He touches it down into the post, and just like that, New England, as they wait for a New York defender to come back, touch it down. Walker, right out of the sheds, New England takes the lead.
We definitely wanted to win that game, and we probably let it slip away, at stages. So disappointing, but that sort of became a common trend for our home games.
No easy task as New England inches away. Here's Johnston. Johnston, he gets it down for the try. Oh, this one could be it for New England. New York trying to play it out of their own end and go the length of the field, kicks it away into the hands of the ball carrier. There's Fuatai to Jack Heighton, and Jack Heighton is going to go the length of the field for that try, and that is an important try, a big point for New York going forward in the standings. And a statement win for the New England Free Jacks here in the Eastern Conference.
Just an emotional roller coaster of a match for both teams.
It was our home opener and our first loss of the season against the high-flying New England Free Jacks. They had been playing well, but we knew deep down that we had some things to seriously fix.
Game plan simple this week, right, fellas? Way we win this week, 123 bullet across the field. You take him places he's not willing to go.
San Diego suddenly threatening to score the game's first try. They almost had it earlier, but they throw it away. Here comes Fuatai. Bossy Fuatai goes all the way for our first try. Strong defense by the Legion. Ellis, and in for the try. It's Kara Pryor. He's been there before.
Put him up, and then Kara Pryor just does the rest, just bulldozing people at the line.
Before the final kick, I was kicked like 5 from 5, so I was feeling really confident. As soon as we got the penalty, I just pointed to the sticks.
Heighten. What a way to finish. What a finish this is.
Lined it up and just kicked it.
It's quiet. Kick is up. It's a line drive.
We all know the pose. Like this, as soon as I saw it, and it was just an amazing feeling, like something I never really felt. So I loved it. I loved the moment. It was epic. It was really cool.
Against the San Diego Legion.
Hey, so the votes went out. And there was a clear winner today. He can change his head up to this one, boys. Jack.
No, it wasn't. I think it was Nick that got the turnover, so it's all.
Humble Subway boy, I love it.
Enola Gold, they face off against Rugby New York. Okay, well, our first scrum of the game, they're wasting no time here, just about a minute in. Wow, big bruising run there from New York. Good offload and no support there.
Still going. Good tackle.
McManus is moving that ball quickly, and look where New York is already.
Too easy.
And there they go, right in for the first try, courtesy of who else? Andrew Coe. Rugby New York obviously showed up to play. The ball gets knocked down, charged down, but New York able to use it. What a mismatch there. Still New York's ball. They're trunkling down the field now. Look out. It's going to be a New York try. And that is Jason Emery back into the try zone. They took it all the way across the pitch.
No, get back. Advantage.
New York can essentially do whatever they want, and they do with a score for number 5, Will Tucker. He stretches it out over the line. That's the final whistle, and there's your score. New York 30, NOLA Gold 19. Gold certainly kept it interesting down to the end there, but could not overcome that huge lead that New York built up in the first half.
I mean, coming off a big win like that in NOLA, it felt like we had righted a lot of the wrongs of the previous season, and we had everything going for us.
For us, I think we'd put together so many good performances that we probably got a little complacent and that, expected things to happen.
Toronto at the time was on the ropes. They, if they lost that game, their season was looking pretty dire. And they came out swinging, and I don't think we were prepared for that.
I tell you what, guys, the weather has changed down here now. It's starting to snow, and the wind has picked up a little bit now. So, very good condition for rugby, if you ask me.
Brinkley and Co. looking to get that rolling ball into the try zone. It might be there. Can they get it down? They do. It's a try for New York.
And we didn't close out the game, and we probably put in a good performance for 65, 70 minutes of that game, and then took our foot off the gas for the last couple of minutes, and they snuck in a couple of late scores to heartbreak us a little bit, really.
Ellis to Fido, goes back. It's picked off the ground on the misplay, and it's going to be Toronto. Here's Toronto going for the try. It's Quantrill. Nobody's going to stop him. Unbelievable try by Toronto. Andrew Quantrill under the posts, and it's kicked at the touch, and that's going to be it. New York turns it over in the scrum, and Toronto, the Arrows, the Road Warriors, if you will, with a big win here at JFK Stadium in Hoboken over Rugby New York.
Fellas, this one should sting. Yep. Disappointment, embarrassment, home field, and we didn't do what we said we were going to do. So it's been said, but the review now needs to be honest. You need to be honest with yourself. and you're the only one that knows if you are being honest. So let's make sure we hit the books and we come humble on Tuesday, both to receive and give feedback and figure out solutions going forward. Because boys, our ceiling is so fucking high, and we felt that. So let's commit to getting there together.
We sat down after that loss and we had a nice kind of heart-to-heart with everyone, and we kind of looked each other in the eye and asked, what do we want from this season? If we're just happy to be complacent and play the games and get through the season, then that's all good. But if we actually want to win, we're going to have to really put in the hard yards and show up to every single game, because no team's gonna just fold.
DC winless on the season. They are snake bit, and you never want to play a snake bit team, especially when you're trying to hold camp. And that's exactly what the task is for Rugby New York. There's Tucker. Tucker reaches at 6'7". He stretches for the try. But there's Winter, and he takes it himself right under the posts.
That's exactly what this New York offense has needed.
There's Fawcett, though, maintaining the ball as New York regains their push. And Fawcett into the try zone. The Butcher puts it down. It's Bonasso and Tucker into the open. 6'8" with a nice offload. Connor McManus with a great move, and he's going to score under the posts. This is a pivotal moment in this match. And New York touches it down for the try. Oh, it looks like Caleb Geiger. And he sprints to midfield. That's what you have to do if you're a New York hooker. You score and you sprint to midfield. Score is 35-31. New York on top of Old Glory.
Fellas, win's a win is a win, right? We don't get off like I said at halftime, we don't get off the canvas and just win. We take a couple on the chin. Still got our 5 points. So how good, boys. We're back on the right track. But it's only as good as our next game. Massive cross-country trip. But think how good it is. We go cross-country and we knock LA off. That's huge, boys. Puts us on the right track going into it. So let's get excited for that challenge this week.
And yes, there was more pain to come before we got things right.
We return to the California coastline and City of Angels, where the most iconic rugby stadium in the world opens its doors to a rivalry like no other. It's New York versus LA from the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. An epic battle of the coasts awaits us. One of these teams will hoist the Champagne Cup in 80 minutes.
Yeah, so we went to Los Angeles. It was pretty exciting for everyone because we knew also after that we have a bye week.
Coliseum, pretty cool atmosphere to be in, and
sunny beach. You know, we were just happy to be there, and it showed out on the field that we weren't ready for it.
Now they peel around. Oh, Hanku Khamasei saw the old New York player. Now with LA, gets one in. That's why they call him the Terminator. Massage having a big impact so far. Oh, the big dummy from Luke White, who once had a son and throws it back in field to Trainer yet again. This is brilliant stuff. Jordan Trainer for the LA Guiltini, stepping white jerseys everywhere. Tough attack, can't get that. Sears Duru, oh, the big frame, Justice Sears Duru. The Marvin superhero, the Hulk, gets over for LA. That's their bonus point try in the first half.
Sometimes games, you're tight in the first quarter of the game, and then suddenly a bounce doesn't go your way, and then it's a tidal wave against you. And it's hard to point to just one moment when that happens, because it was pretty nip and tuck up until halftime. And then the wheels came off, and we just didn't have an answer. And sometimes those games happen.
By that time, I think a lot of the boys was carrying little niggling and injuries. I mean, obviously it's no excuse. LA is such a good team, but
the errors keep compounding for New York. As we go into the final quarter of play here, they still have nothing to show for it.
It's Oscar time for the LA Guiltinis. They've fashionably late, but it doesn't matter. They pulled the red carpet from under New York, and they will lift the Champagne Cup for the first time. Where's Frank the Tank? Fill that thing up again, my friend.
It was just one of those games where nothing went right for us, and nothing you could do to stop the bleeding, really. It was kind of just praying for the end whistle to come so we could pack up, get a week's rest, and look to attack the second half of the season.
And, you know, there's been some great stuff. But today was a humbling experience for everyone, not just the guys on the field, but for myself, for the coaching group, for the medical staff, for Ollie. So I think first thing is, as a group, this is a special group, and we look around and the sum of us is pretty special, but there's no excuses today. And so I think what I'm going to do is look at what I've done the last few weeks and just think, fuck, what could I have done better to stop something like that happen today? I'm taking it on myself. I think that's what we all need to do. Just take this time, enjoy your time off. But this group deserves something special. This group deserves a victory at the end of the season. So these games, as you know, a lot of experience in this bus, they can define your season. It's how you react to them is what defines it. And I've got full confidence in this group, the whole bus load. Not the bus driver because I don't know him personally, but everyone else. But yeah, like Andy said, remember this, and this will give us the fuel, because that's what fueled them for that first 20, was us beating them last year. You could see that. So onwards and upwards, and just keep an eye on each other, because I know Cara gets a bit petty. So just keep an eye on each other tonight. Keep around each other, and then enjoy your time off, make the most of it, and come back ready to sort of finish the season strong. Thanks.
We needed a sharp jolt. Our performances were patchy and just weren't getting better. We were far from what we wanted to be. We had some tough talking to do and some honest truths to face. It was time to turn our season around.
Anytime something's embarrassing, you feel like you've let yourself down. You feel like you let everybody else down around you. And we knew that we couldn't have another loss like that. We knew that something had to change, and the team came together. And instead of, accepting it, we acted.
I think we're kind of at a point of the season where it could go either one way or the other. From that game, I thought if we carried on the way we were kind of going, it could have gone downhill very fast. But we regrouped after that bye week, and I think we just really bought into everyone buying into one direction, and we all bought into this direction. And from there, I really thought our season kind of took off.
We knew we had the ability to win games. We knew we had the ability to get to where we wanted to be. We knew how hard it was going to be, but we weren't afraid of the fight. We were courageous and we were brave, and there was no fear.
The adversity we'd gone through earlier in the season had hardened our resolve to get better, and we were starting to pull it together on the field.
Putting it in. New York out left. Gets into the hands of Emery on the burst. Nobody there for Nolan. He's got some men inside. He might not need them, but there's Cara Pryor. Cara Pryor's going to go all the way. Now that's a big stick and a big tackle. New York holds on after a relentless second half from Kane Thompson's NOLA goal, 36-28. Unbelievable match.
The Samoan powerhouse, and there's the offload. Jay Emery into space. He turns it back inside, and the ball put into space. Rewarded for his effort. Brendan O'Connor goes all the way to the corner. New York scores. But in this MLR Eastern Conference matchup, it's going to be Rugby New York 41, Toronto Arrows 17.
We had a few players join us late, Twan, Scuds and Wise, and I think they all brought their own flair, their own sense of self, and I think they just really gave us direction.
Obviously having the new boys show up, that always injects a bit of enthusiasm into the squad.
I think those three boys coming in really helped change the direction of our season.
Brendan O'Connor gets it to Cole. Cole slips a tackle, and Cole is going to go into the zone for a try. York drives. Can they get it through? And it's another whistle. It's a penalty try, or we have lost the post. Scored 30-22, and so long from Hoboken, New Jersey.
Trusted our game drivers, trusted the physicality of our forwards to really set the platform for us to put together performances and get wins, because we knew if we secured a top 3 spot, we had the tools, the players, the game plan to win it all.
Commit to being accurate. If we're going to carry the ball, let's make sure you run over somebody, and we are brutal at the breakdown.
Down by DC. Sam Windsor has an idea kicking it, keeps it, and now he's got Vito in space. And Vito to the butcher, Dylan Fawcett. Back inside. Here's Connor Buckley. Connor Buckley in a foot race. Does he have enough? No, but he's got Andy Ellis. Diving in pursuit. Andy Ellis off the bench and into the try zone. And that'll do it. Final score, 59-42. That is not a typo, ladies and gentlemen. That's the accurate score.
By the time we built into New England on that last week of the season, and probably DC there as well, we were starting to put together a pretty special product. And I think the boys were starting to feel that despite some of the setbacks we'd had, there was some real potential to make a deep run.
Welcome to the final round of the regular season. It's one of the great rivalries in sport. It's New England versus New York. Match taking place in the city of Presidents known as Quincy, Massachusetts. No team has ever defeated the Free Jacks here at Veterans Memorial Stadium.
I feel like that game was what won us the championship. I think there's a respect between both teams that, you know, we're both two good sides, but both wanted to win. You know, so you knew you were going up there for a fight.
New York drive, powerful drive. Tuiloma comes in, Buckley, and then Andy Ellis is in there too. Same as Quinnawati. Here they peel away. Kalola Tuiloma just short this time. Blue jersey swarm in, diving round. Ellis gets in underneath it. Oh, the L-Dog has got new tricks still.
We played with a fair bit of freedom, and I think that allowed us to kind of express ourselves going into the playoffs. And we wanted to beat them. They beat us twice at home, both on last plays of the game. So we knew if we won that game, we might have the mental edge over them if we face them again in the playoff.
Massive hit is New York. Look for their third try in this game. Up 14-7. Caleb Geiger again at the back. The backs came in last time. This time Tuiloma is there, and here the backs with Windsor and Ellis. Driving for the line, it's New York! At their very best, they're built for this sort of stuff, and they punch in their third try.
And it was an absolute dogfight. I think it was probably one of the best games to be a part of as a Rugby New York player.
Poland puts the kick himself. Poland over the top. No, it's been snapped by New York. Coe is there. Rolls into touch. What a remarkable performance from New York.
You know, winning's contagious. So if you start winning and you keep winning and you just build that momentum and you know what that tastes like, then it keeps rolling. So having a win against New England, who we lost twice to throughout the season, just gave us the confidence that it's possible. There's no one in the league that we can't beat. There's no unattainable goal. So that win really solidified our confidence that we can go all the way and win the championship.
And for the first time this season, they've defeated their rivals New England. And they end undefeated home run here by the Free Jacks here at Fort Quincy.
Let's go. On to playoffs, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Woo!
And this is where we want to get to. And this is the caliber of people that we wanted with us. So I just want to say thank you for everything you put in, and I'm looking forward to you putting in a performance that justifies this group.
First, it was our chance to put things right from the previous season. A tough-fought playoff victory against a strong Atlanta side in their home stadium. New York's first playoff win. We had been here before, and were not planning on falling at that final hurdle again.
Being a part of the two losses that happened, you know, San Diego and Atlanta before, you know, that energy, you know, you never forget. You never forget it. You use it to fuel you, you know, throughout the season. You find that darker place because you know you've been there before, and eventually you're going to come out of it in the right end, you know. So it's playoff footy. It's now or never.
It's tough, I guess. Playoffs it's a tough one because you just take it a week at a time. You don't know what's going to happen, and I think we just really went in. First game Atlanta, that was a pretty close game. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna give everything for you, for over you. I'm gonna bleed for you, okay? Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. Come on. New York on three. 1, 2, 3. Yeah!
The Eastern Conference Eliminator, and two teams that all year were very consistent. Rugby ATL hosting Rugby New York. The winner goes on to take on the New England Free Jacks. They are the top seed in the Eastern Conference.
Sweet, we know what we're out to. We're CV first, so we're going to get into our 3.5 shape, and we'll just listen to our drivers what our next call is. We might look to kick or we'll play.
Let's start by winning our first three. We work in threes, eh? We take the kick, we secure the ruck, we hit it iron. We good? Let's go, boys. Yeah. Let's have some fun working hard, huh? Yeah, gotcha!
got Jason Emery has it on the tee. That one is up and good. And Rugby New York with a 3-0 lead here in the 5th minute.
When we played Atlanta, you know, we got to work and we never looked back in that game.
See if he can put them up by 6. Sounded good, looks good, and the flags go north.
Redeem themselves when it really mattered.
Totally redeem themselves. They're trying to totally redeem themselves here and put this one in and down, and they do. And it's 26-19, and Rugby New York, they win it. They were 0-2 in the postseason. They've got a victory now, and they're on to the Eastern Conference Final.
Relish it, relish the moment. From being here last year, the pain that it was, to the elation that you felt at the end of the game. Just fuel it now going into this week. Enjoy every moment of this win, boy. We are going places, and we must keep going. So proud of you, boys. Thank you.
Pressure's off now, guys. We won our first game. Now it's just getting the business done for the next game. Can't wait to see it over in New England. It's gonna be a blast.
Happened the big showdown against New England. That was a huge game for us, and we kind of felt like that might almost felt like a final in itself.
Ready in this all-American rivalry battle. On the right of your screen, it's New York in blue and New England in red, their member jerseys, here in the City of Presidents.
Ed Fido suffered an injury late in the final moments of last week's game, so he's replaced on the wing by Canadian Olympian Andrew Coe, and I'm honestly so pumped to see some of his aerial acrobatics today.
Felt like a real sports rivalry. Their fans were in it. There was real vitriol coming from the stands. There was just an edge to the whole game.
We played a really exciting game, a really good brand of footy, I think. A really good balance between our kicking game, a bit of X factor in there.
There was a point in the game where I overthrew the line at New England go from one end of the field to the other. Like, I'll never forget it. As a hooker, you know, you've got to nail your set piece, and I absolutely overthrew this first line out. Counter-attack, edge to edge, come back and score under the post. 7-0 down after 7 minutes, I think it was, something like that. And, you know, a younger, greener me could have been rattled by that. But because of the adversity that we have gone through throughout my career and throughout what we've done here in New York, it was just right next job, and I never even thought about it. You know, we stuck to task with some great leadership shown. You know, we've got some great men. We got the best of men here in New York, and you know, we were able to just get on it and keep adding layers to that skyscraper.
On the Scudders on the left, they go to the right instead. Pryor over the top, a money ball, and a dive in the corner. Mash one in. It's the captain, Ben Bonasso. Oh, boys high. Hammond, and the flags go up. It's 13-10. Doesn't get it, it's a late ball, lovely pass and a step. Coe's going a distance. Andrew Coe just cut down. What a tackle that is. But here comes New York. Milner Scudder dives for the line. Oh, he's as strong as Hotel Coffee is near him, Milner Scudder.
And then when Coe scored that try in the corner and then Sammy hit that kick, it was just a feeling of we get to go to a final, so it was just epic. It was really cool.
To the way, it's a wide ball. They've got to score here. It's a money ball over the top. Andrew Coe's in the corner. He's flying like Neo from the Matrix. And New York may have done enough to win the Eastern Conference Final. It's one of the greatest days in New York franchise history. A moment to savor for everyone involved. They've produced enough to defeat their arch rivals New England away from home, and are your Eastern Conference champions. Look what it means to this side. They were certainly not favourites coming into this after New England had an unbelievable record season, and they've done the damage, and in 6 days' time we'll host to Seattle in the quest for the Major League Rugby Shield.
A massive effort, big game, and we nailed our moments. We represented our family, our city, and those that have gone before us really well today. I look back on the week and it was a great week. Really was. Like Nick said, we nailed our detail. We were, by the end of the week, we were the best version of ourselves, most of us were.
2 tough playoff victories on the road had given us a chance to play our first ever final in front of our home fans, and we wanted to give them a day to remember.
I think going into it, yes, we wanted to win, but we knew that it was the last game, so we just wanted to enjoy it.
It kind of just felt we went in there with so much confidence off the week before. It kind of felt like it was our game to lose.
Playing in Red Bull Arena and knowing that we're going to play on that stage just added to the atmosphere and added to the excitement. We knew we were going to have a nice day. Seattle were going to be a tough competition, and just the nerves started to build early on in the week.
Today, rugby takes center stage.
These two teams are both looking red hot. Seattle, undefeated in Major League Rugby playoff history. Their offense has been absolutely fire. New York, newcomers to the championship final game here today. They've only given up 1 try in each of their last 2 playoff games. So is it going to be all about the offense, or does defense really win championships?
Well, first scrum, and it's New York with possession. Forward tie as well. The forwards come charging through, and it's a try for New York. They're built for this sort of stuff. In close, they're able to punch it in, and that's what the crowd have come to watch.
You sort of feed off the nerves and the butterflies in your stomach that knows that you're probably ready and that it's the business end of the season.
With Brendan O'Connor and Antonio Kitty, he wants the backs too. Here they come. The men from the concrete jungle get the penalty try, they bulldoze their way over. James Malcolm comes in with a tackle. Ellis, dummy, there's lots of numbers here. Fawcett, Heighton,
Yes!
Heighton, and yes! In his left dance, yes, he gets over. There's no issues with that, and his side go up 22 points to 8 against Seattle. That's a great kick to get the opening points in the second half. In hand, finds Coe, and Coe cuts back in. Lovely little flip ball to keep alive. New York jump over the top. Ellis, lovely little step and gives it upfield. Tucker is there. What a breakout! A one-handed flip ball. Oh, it's a miracle pickup. Mayhew, where does he get these skills? Oh, it's a switch back and inside Cherokee. This is outstanding. Oh, they play like a hard-boiled egg. They never crack under the pressure. And New York, in the Big Apple, show us what a championship team looks like. Wow. Cup, play with the Blues, a shot from Rook Windsor, a drop goal, tap, the flags go up. Cool as you like, he's not here for a haircut, it's Sammy Windsor. It will go long into the night. Ellis gets involved, forcing a knock on, and New York, the concrete jungle where dreams are made of, one of the greatest cities in the world, are now home to the champions of Major League Rugby. It's been 4 years in the making, and a new chapter in MR history written by these Warriors. And what a send-off for Rugby World Cup winner, All Black legend Andy Ellis in his last ever professional game. I'm sure he'll get the keys tonight.
We all knew it was going to be Andy's last game, so we didn't want to let him down, but we also just knew that this was the culmination of all the work that went in 6 months, 7 months previous to that point. So let's just go out there and do it for each other, do it for ourselves, do it for our family, and thankfully we came out with the win.
For a guy like me that's been here from day one, to finally done it was special. But you know, now I look at it like, and all I want is 3 more.
From where we were at the start of the year all the way up until that final, it was just such a great year and a great way to finish it off.
You can't really describe it, or words don't really describe the emotion and the elation. But just getting to spend it with the group of boys that we had and the families that were stuck by us through the whole season was super special, and rewarded the club for the hard work they did to put this group together and cement ourselves as the best team in the country.
You know, honestly, from season 1 of New York, it felt like we had a pretty special crew, and there wasn't too much that we couldn't accomplish, but we just hadn't managed to put the final piece together yet. And so to finally do that is pretty special. And you know, when you have a league that hopefully has staying power like this, once you win a championship, that can never get taken away from you. And Rugby New York is going to be on that shield forever.
To be able to represent this great place, represent my family in the greatest city in the world, yeah, it means everything.
New York's on fire! Your defense is